breakfast in Paris. What do you think we should choose? I'm looking at those chocolate eclairs, but there's a lot of good stuff for breakfast. Paris knows how to do it right. We're reviewing the chocolate.
Angelina.
The best hot chocolate in Paris. It's like going to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory and jumping into the chocolate pond or river and drinking.
It's super, super rich and thick and very sweet and very, very chocolatey. So, and it uses African chocolate apparently. So it's delicious. Super best chocolate. Can't deny that.
That's for sure.
The Louvre Museum. To cover the entire museum, the world's largest, in a single visit is impossible. So let's focus on the Louvre's specialties: Greek sculpture, Italian painting, and French painting. It's 5,000 years of history all under one roof in one of the world's great museums, the Louvre. Pre-classical Greek statues from before 500 BC. Wander the room. These statues are noble but crude. In the first glass cases, you'll see Greek Barbie dolls. They date from about 3000 BC and are older than the pyramids.
It's Venus de Milo, floating above a sea of worshipping tourists.
Venus de Milo, from around 100 BC. The Venus de Milo, or goddess of love, from the Greek island of Melos, created a sensation when it was discovered in 1820. Venus's well-proportioned body embodies the balance and orderliness of the Greek universe. Statues from Golden Age Greece. Just browse through this room, strolling toward the far end. You'll see statues of gods, satyrs, soldiers, athletes, and everyday people engaged in ordinary activities. Some statues are nude, celebrating the human form. Others have rich robes with deep creases in them. The statues are beautiful, godlike, and balanced. Most of the art that we'll see in the Louvre either came from Greece or was inspired by it. Fragments of the Parthenon frieze from about 440 BC. These stone panels once decorated the exterior of the greatest Athenian temple, the Parthenon. They were carved at the peak of the Greek Golden Age.
the Roman Antiquities Room.
Stroll among Caesars and try to see the person behind the public persona. Besides the many faces of the ubiquitous Emperor Inconnu, or unknown, you might spot Augustus, the very first emperor. His wife, Livia, is nearby. Tiberius was their son. When Jesus said, "Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's," Tiberius was on the throne. The Pragmatic Romans were great conquerors, but mediocre artists. One area in which the Romans did excel was realistic portrait busts like these, especially of their emperors. Emperors were worshipped as gods on earth. These are the people who conquered most of Western Europe. One of the civilizations they dominated was Greece. Winged Victory of Samothrace, circa 190 BC. As you gaze up at the statue, you see it the way the ancients did. This woman with wings poised on the prow of a ship once stood on a hilltop to commemorate a naval victory. Her clothes are windblown and sea-sprayed, clinging to her body close enough to win a wet t-shirt contest. The Louvre as a palace. Looking out the eight-sided room's windows, imagine how the Louvre, the former royal palace, was built in stages over 8 centuries. On your right, the eastern Sully wing, was the original medieval fortress. Next, far to your left, past the glass pyramid and the freestanding triumphal arch, another palace, the now-gone Tuileries Palace, was built. Succeeding kings tried to connect these two palaces, each one adding another section onto the long, skinny north and south wings. Finally, in 1852, after 3 centuries of building, the two palaces were connected, creating a rectangular Louvre, the biggest building on Earth. 19 years later, the Tuileries Palace burned down during a riot, leaving the U-shaped Louvre we see today. The glass pyramid was designed in 1989 by the American architect I.M. Pei. Many Parisians hated the pyramid, just like they used to hate another new and controversial structure 100 years ago, the Eiffel Tower. Here in the octagonal room, check out the plaque at the base of the dome. The inscription reads, Le Musée du Louvre, fondé le 16 Septembre 1792. It explains that this museum was founded, by France's Revolutionary National Assembly. Those were the same folks who brought you the guillotine. What could be more logical? You behead the king, inherit his palace and huge art collection, open the doors to the masses, and voila! You have Europe's first public museum. The Apollo Gallery. This long, ornate room gives you a feel for the Louvre as the glorious home of the French monarchy, before later kings moved their official residence to Versailles. As you go, you're surrounded by the kind of luxury items Louis XIV might have been familiar with as a child. He grew up in the Louvre and often entertained here,